For some people, it's just not enough that the getting things done or GTD methodology can promote a greater sense of well-being, can help you sleep better at night, can give you back headspace to spend time with your family or hobbies. They want to know, what's GTD going to do for me financially? What is the return on investment for me spending my time and energy for attending a training or enlisting a professional coach to help me get this getting things done thing? After all, it makes sense. I get it. There are a lot of different ways that you can invest in your life and invest in your career. You can upskill in your job. You can take leadership training. So why GTD? What is the elusive ROI of the getting things done methodology? Well, when people ask this, I tend to like to tell a few stories. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the tale of the $10,000 reference filing system and the £1 million waiting for list. So this first one happened to me. Actually, it happened to my wife. She opened up an unmarked envelope and her face went pallid. It was a letter from the infamous Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, in the United States, the land that we both originally hail from. It was in fact a fine for $10,000 for having been late with filing our taxes. And it was really unsettling. So what did we do? We rang our accountant, and yes, indeed, she had given us the paperwork on time, and yes, indeed, we had signed it, and yes, indeed, we had in fact posted it on time. So I raced to my 3-drawer filing cabinet, which is labeled from A through Z, and I went through T for tax and to the correct year. And there it was, a postage receipt, verifying that I had in fact posted all the materials before the deadline. Having this receipt, being able to send it on to our accountant, her subsequently being able to draft the appropriate letters and work through the appropriate red tape, and believe me, there's quite a bit of it, resulted in a second letter 1 year later. It was not an apology for all of the stress and mental strain that we'd been under, thinking that we potentially could have owed this huge sum of money unnecessarily, in our view anyway. It was simply a letter that said, your account balance is now 0. Signed, the Internal Revenue Service. That's the IRS for you. But the truth is, the real satisfaction, the real relief came when I was able to take that letter and go to my trusted GTD Getting Things Done system and tick off a waiting for item that said, Internal Revenue Service, realized mistake was theirs, and canceled the fine. I then took that letter, of course, saying that they had canceled the and filed it under T for tax in my $10,000 reference filing system. This next one comes from a client, and all of our engagements are, of course, kept strictly confidential, so I'm going to change a lot of the details. I won't reveal the name so that really you won't be able to identify who this person is or even where they work, but trust me, the story is legit. This person works with very high-profile clients and businesses, manages accounts as a partner for a big firm, and in doing so, has several accounts that they personally manage that are worth a very large sum of money to the company. And one day, after GTD coaching, with their systems fully set up and working for them, some weeks and months on from when I had visited to help them, they got a call from a client, an enraged client. And this client basically said to them, you messed up this deal. You didn't follow through when you said you would, and we are canceling our contract with you effective immediately. My client went to her trusted GTD system and had a look at the project that they had delegated to someone to handle, at the clear outcome that their client was explaining had not gone through, that they'd fallen down on. And there underneath it was a waiting for item with the name of one of the contacts on their side, and with several follow-up dates, notes about how they had followed up by email, how they had tried phoning the person, how they had continued to escalate to get the information back they needed to progress the issue. And at the end of the day, it was entirely their fault that they had not moved things along. Client calmly explained this to their client, and guess what? They saved the account. They saved the account because they were able to pinpoint within seconds exactly what had happened and to reassure them that they were important to them, that they mattered, that their business mattered, that they were on top of their game, and they saved the deal. How many thousands or millions of pounds this is worth, I don't know exactly, and even if I did, I wouldn't want to say, but let's just say this was essentially a £1 million waiting for list moment for this client. So what else can I say? I can tell you my own story. I started GTD 22 years ago, and I often tell people I just don't know the kind of crazy person I might be now if I didn't have GTD, given the number of interests and side hustles and hobbies and all the different things I have going on that I want to accomplish in my life and have accomplished pretty much thanks to GTD. But you don't want to hear that, do you? You want to hear in financial terms what this has done for me in terms of advancing my career. Okay, fine. Simply put, I moved very, very quickly from being an engineer to managing engineers in my early 20s, thanks to GTD. Because I could keep track of outcomes, I could define clear next steps, I could create clarity for the people around me because I was clear about what my desired outcomes were, what my next steps were, and felt confident that I was moving the right things along in the right kind of timing. So for most of my career, I've held senior positions. For most of my career, yes, I may have some natural skills and abilities as well, but fundamentally, being able to practice GTD has absolutely accelerated and turbocharged those abilities. So how about you? The saying goes that the best time to plant a tree is 10 years ago, or maybe 22 years ago. But the next best time is right now. How many years you have left? Who knows? In your career, in your life, to enjoy what you're building and what you're earning and what you're creating for yourself. The best time to really invest in that journey is much like with a pension or anything else. It's right now and as much as you can. Because every day that goes by after you have implemented a good GTD system, you're reaping dividends. So what about you? People that implement GTD often report gains in productivity and effectiveness anywhere from 10% to 3 times what they previously thought they were doing. What's that worth to you? What's that worth to your boss or your boss's boss, frankly? When you get that promotion, what does it mean that you'll be able to take on so much more and not complain about it, not worry about it, not lose sleep over it? Be able to go and go and go as much as you want or choose to by working smarter, not working harder. GTD allows you to do just that. You don't have to take my word for it. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of people that I've worked with at this point that will attest to exactly the same thing. So if you're interested in taking the leap, if it's time, if you're ready, if you're serious about improving your ability to bring in abundance and wealth without having to completely max yourself out, I can say to you with confidence that investing in GTD is probably the single biggest payoff in terms of actual ROI that I've ever made in my life. If that sounds interesting, feel free to get in touch with us at next-action.co.uk. We offer coaching, we offer training in a variety of different ways to suit really everyone's needs and interests. Meanwhile, if you found this at all interesting or useful or thought-provoking, hit the subscribe button, tell your friends. We'll be putting out more of this kind of content very, very soon. Meanwhile, from me, from all of us at Next Action Associates, good luck, have fun, go be as successful as you want and choose to be.